What's this for?
Alright YouTube, I'm Scott McMahon and I'm the owner of Legion Barbers. Here we've got sat in the chair Lex Griffin, fitness YouTuber. And we're going to be doing a undercut skin fade with a beard trim. I'm just wetting down his hair now to make it more easy and manageable. And I'm going to section that off into a little bun and clip it out the way so we can get working on the sides. And I think I recorded this back in August last year and it's just been sat on my camera roll with my to-do list. But what better time now? We're all on lockdown now to get my first YouTube video out. Now I'm going in with my Andis Supra ZR IIs to take it down to skin and make my first initial guideline. These really make light work of debulking hair and will help you get through your skin fades a lot quicker. And it also saves out dulling out your trimmer blades. And we just slightly dip to the back of the head here to contour to the head shape at the occipital bone. So now I'm going in with my Babyliss foil shavers to take it right down. Initially I'm going down with the grain at the top of the skin line, and then I'm going up and going against the grain, and what that's going to do is make a nice transition and make it easier for you to fade into. So now I'm going in with my Babyliss cordless supermotor clippers with the blade all the way closed, taking out that initial guideline. My usual steps is I go up around 1/4 of an inch at a time with the blade all the way closed, quarter way, halfway, and then all the way open. I believe here I was able to skip a lot of those steps, and then I came back towards the end and spent the majority of my time detailing. When I'm going through my system, I try to go through my fade system as quick as I can and then come back at the end of the haircut and spend the majority of my time detailing, taking out any dark spots or shadows. So now I'm going in with my one guard all the way open, go right up to the ridge. And then we got the one guard all the way closed, coming right up underneath that last guide. And then my next step is the half guard, halfway open. Again, coming right underneath that one guard. And now all the way closed. And that should bridge the gap in between the blade all the way open and the one guard open. Now I'm going back in with my blade all the way open here. And then I'm just working down through the leather, taking out any little dark spots that I can see or any shadows. And I'll come back towards the end of the haircut and detail it further. And now I'm just going in with my Andis Slimline Pro Li, just taking out any little remnants of that initial skin line. And then we're just repeating the same steps on the other side, going in with the blade all the way closed. And then we open the leather 1/4 of the way. And then it'd be halfway. And then eventually all the way open. What's nice about the Babyliss clippers is they have the notch system on the side. So as you move the lever, it clicks into place and it has 5 positions. So it's really good for beginners. The Andis Masters and the new cordless Andis Masters has a similar system where they have notches on the side, but they just don't click into place on the Andis. But it's really good for beginners to track where they are and what position they're at with the lever. So now I'm going in with the one guard all the way open again, go right up to the ridge. I'm just using my thumb here to create a bit of tension on the hair so I don't catch any of the hairs on the top and cut them accidentally. It's really important, that's why we section it all off to begin with. Now I'm coming directly underneath the one open, with the one guard, with the lever in the closed position. Now I'm going to come directly underneath that with the half guard, with the lever halfway open and then all the way closed. And now I'm coming back to my blade all the way open, just detailing again, taking any lines or shadows out. I've come back to this little spot here on his hairline. He seems to have a bit of a cow lick, which means his hair's more prominent and dark in that area. Now I'm just doing the same steps on the back. The blade all the way closed, quarter, halfway, all the way open. And I'll just let you watch the steps. And when I'm cutting in the shop, I usually wouldn't fade like this, doing each panel, both sides, and then the back of the head. I usually go all the way around until each section's finished with, as I just found for me, it's faster and it's more efficient. I'm just doing this purely because it's easier for you guys at home to follow along with. Now I've got the one guard all the way open, just going right up to the ridge again and connecting in both sides. And then if you've been following along, you'll know that we use the one guard with the lever closed, coming directly underneath that. And then if you can guess what the next step's going to be. Yeah, it's the half guard with the lever halfway open and then all the way closed. So everybody has a complete different fading system. It's personal to every single barber. This is the way I like to do it. I like to go up one panel, fade that out, create another panel, fade that one out. And now the fade's pretty much done, and this is where I spend a lot of my time going back and detailing, making sure I take out any dark spots, matching the colour and the shade, and going back through my steps again. And the most common issue that people seem to have is taking out that initial skin line. And you'll see in a second, I go back to my trimmers, just using the corner of the blade to take that initial line out. I'm using my Andis Slimline Pro Li's, and that's equivalent to the outliner blade that I use to put that initial skin line in. And if you use the principle, whatever you use to create that line, use that to take it out again. You won't go too far wrong, and you can use that throughout your whole haircut. If you're struggling with the line and can't take it out, go back to what you put it in with. Now I'm just using my Andis Slimline Pro Li's again to line up the hair. I usually start in the middle and make a guideline, and then work my way out into the corners to keep it nice and symmetrical. I'm just lightly tapping here. I've got these trimmers set just a tad bit shorter than factory setting, but when we do Lex's hair, we always seem to get some mild irritation when doing the line-up. And the reason for that is Lex has got such a shredded forehead. And if you want to find out how to get a shredded forehead, Lex has got a video on his channel, top 5 tips to get a shredded forehead. And if that's something that you've always had an issue with and something that you've always wanted to get, then go check that out. Now I'm just flipping the trimmers over and just working the side of the temples, and again just lightly tapping there on his already natural line-up just to enhance that line. Lex wanted a hard part in, so now we're just going in and just lightly tapping there just to create that initial line and guide there for me, and then what I'll do after is go back and just sticking it up where I need to and just detail it. And he also wanted a couple little lines in his eyebrows as well, so we're just going to do that now. And he also thought it'd be cool if we put a second line in there as well, so that's what we're just doing now, and we're just going from the corner of his recession point and keeping it parallel with his initial parting line that we put in. Now you can see how my line's really thin to begin with, and then I'll just widen it up as I need to and make it a little bit thicker. It's the same with cutting hair. Once you've cut it off, you can't put it back on again. So start off nice and thin and then just gradually increase it until you've got your finish that you want. And now I'm just using my razor here just to make it pop a little bit more and make that line nice and sharp. Now we start to fade in the beard. So we do pretty much the same steps but just in reverse. So I think I started off with the blade all the way open and then reversed the steps, so halfway, quarter way closed. And now I'm going in with the one guard open and then come directly above that with the one guard closed. And then I'll bridge the gap in the middle with the half guard with the leather halfway, then all the way closed. Now I'm just using my 1.5 guard with the leather open initially and then closing it up. And now switch to my 2 guard. I believe the leather's all the way open and I'm just going with the grain here. And what that'll do is that'll take a little bit less hair off and it allows me to contour the beard, creating shape as well as removing hair. And I'm just going back against the grain now with the 2 guard closed. And I believe this is the 3 guard now, as I'm getting closer to the chin area where the beard's at its longest point. I'll just increase the guard length there, and again going with the grain to create a nice square shape angled into that pointed shape in the chin. And I'm just going back with my trimmers there at the sideburn just to take that initial skin line out. And now I'm using my clippers and I flip them over and I'm creating the square shape underneath the chin. I use the clippers because it's easier to take down the length of the beard, and then what I'll do afterwards is I'll go back in with my trimmers and sharpen that line up and then take off any little stubble or hair underneath. And now I'm doing the same thing as I did before, going with the grain, but I'm contouring the shape more and taking off any little stray hairs that are poking out and getting rid of any little flyaways. And now I'm repeating the same steps on the side, using the middle point as a reference, mirroring the same as I did on the opposite side. And the same with fading, spending a lot of time at the end detailing will get you a much better result. It's similar here of what I'm doing now with the beard trim, taking off any little flyaway hairs and really focusing on nailing down that shape that we want. Now I'm just getting with my trimmers and lining up the back of the beard and framing it. And I'm going to go underneath the neckline now and create that nice sharp shape that I want. And I'm just using my finger here to create a bit of tension. That's really important if you've got any loose skin. If you've got a gen with who's a bit older or has sensitive skin, it can be a really sensitive area under the neckline, so you want to make it as comfortable as possible for them. Now I'm just repeating the same steps on the other side of the beard, just framing the beard in, following the line from the back of his sideburn and then the natural curve of his beard line. And now I'm just lightly lining up his cheek line with the trimmers, and I'll come back after with the razor to sharpen that up. So I'm not too fussed at the minute about creating a super sharp line with the trimmers. And as you can see, Lex is having a bit of a giggling fit at the minute, so I don't want to have any accidents.
Yeah, I don't think they get away with it at all.
Alright.
Yeah?
No, I don't think so either.
What's this for?
Just open up the pores a bit and just make it a bit easier for shaving.
Shaving?
Yeah, just we're going to use the razor on your liner. You're having a full wet shave, aren't you?
See, even that taken out of context, on that video I should say that you were trying to smother me.
That's it, yeah.
Barber tries to murder influencer.
Yeah, that should.
A terrible day before, Mr. Griffin travelled to the hairdresser's to cheer himself up. Little did he know that later that day, he'd be smothered in an attempted murder.
So as my attempted murder plan went wrong, I finished off his beard trim. I'm just using the razor at the minute, just lining up the edge, making it nice and sharp. Beforehand, I used the hot towel with a little bit of shave gel just to add a little bit of lubrication there and to avoid any irritation. I'm just using the razor to line up his hairline. And I'm coming up underneath the neck now with the Babyliss foil shavers, just to take any little unwanted stubble down and make it extra clean. Again, whilst you're doing this, use your finger to create a little bit of tension to avoid any irritation there. And be especially careful around the Adam's apple. We didn't do Lex's mustache as he wanted to grow that out a little bit so we could style it a bit more. And now we're going on to blow drying and styling the hair. And what I'm doing here is just taking each section and blow drying the hair back, starting from the back all the way to the front. And as we were styling this, I didn't want to go for a really groomed kept look. We wanted to keep it in keeping with Lex's style and a bit more loose and a bit more messy. So I took the nozzle off here and we're just using my hands to create a bit of texture and roughing the hair up a little bit, create a little bit of volume in the front. And when I'm blow drying hair, I always use a high speed and medium heat to blow dry and style the hair. And then to finish and set it, I use cold air, and that'll set the hair and stop it flopping around all day. To style the hair, I'm using Uppercut styling powder, and that's a matte product that I just dust into the hair and manipulate with my fingers, and that'll leave it with a matte, messy, textured finish. So that's the finished look. If you liked the video, leave me a like down below, comment and subscribe. Now I'm going to let Lex explain the haircut to you.
So if you want to know what the haircut is, it's simply a skin fade that's a disconnected and technically an undercut on this side. Then we have a ducktail beard in the shape with a fade going into the top, so we've got that nice matchy from side to beard. Boom.
And that's the end of the video. If you made it to the end, thank you for sticking around. And my next video is going to be a clipper review. It's either going to be cordless Andis Master or the new Babyliss Supermotor Skeleton FX trimmer. Comment down below what you'd like to see. And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell.